This is a time period with which you are very familiar. May of 2013. These clips involve a decent, peace-loving man whom you knew, and a colossal blowhard whom I don't think you ever met, but you'll know who these two are, and I think you'll appreciate this. This is back around the time when General Petraeus was arguing in favor of a surge. Cut number 10.
We say that her positions are radical, and they are radical.
Let me tell you what's radical. What's radical is to send more Americans to die in this war, which is a monumental blunder by a president who swaggered us into it with, by the way, the at least tacit approval of the Democratic Party.
You know,
there's a lot of sin to go around here.
What's radical for
you want to send more people to this war?
Listen,
is that your position?
If we cut and run out of there like you want to do, we would be putting every American in 1,000 times more jeopardy than they're in now.
We're going to cut and run anyway,
well,
Bill.
That's your opinion.
What's my opinion? American military leaders have said we're going to draw down beginning next year.
The difference between drawing down and cutting
pictures. Now listen. You wouldn't send your children to this war, Bill.
My nephew just enlisted in the Army. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Very good. Congratulations, Steve.
Yeah, and you ought to just walk away.
How many more young men and women are you going to send to have their arms and legs blown off so that you can be tough and point at people in a kind of cowardly way? And they knew that, first of all, only Congress can declare war. Why is that unimportant to you, Billy?
Listen,
why can't you become the patriot that your loud voice proclaims to be and stand behind the Constitution and insist that we never go to war again without the approval and the consent of the United States? Poorly planned and poorly executed, but Bill O'Reilly wants to send more kids to fight and die. We've already had almost 2,000. Just let me have the last word. In the last year, two things have doubled. The number of dead American troops in Iraq have doubled from over 1,000 to almost 2,000. You know what else doubled, Billy? The price of Halliburton stock.
Wow.
Well, I actually know both of them. I was on the Bill O'Reilly show numerous times, and I have to tell you, if he had ever tried pointing his finger at me like that, he would have lost his hand live on set. What ridiculous posturing. I will say that, first of all, Phil Donahue is just a phenomenal journalist, and I wrote an article about him, about my relationship with him, and how he suffered because he was unique in mainstream media to bring me on his at the top-rated show at the time and allow me to present what I considered to be the reality, fact-based truth about the inadequacies of the case for war against Iraq. He was fired because of this, and so he's a brave man. But I will say this about Bill O'Reilly: he did that with me once, right before the war, and he was on with I think General McInerney, and they were just coming at me about Iraqi chemical weapons, and I said, there are no chemical weapons in Iraq. I know it because I was there. None of you were there. You simply don't know what you're talking about. And O'Reilly said, okay, Scott, we're getting ready to go to war. Now, when American troops cross into Iraq and Iraq responds with chemical weapons, will you come on this show and apologize to the American people? I said, yes, absolutely. But Bill, when American troops cross into Iraq and find out that there are no weapons of mass destruction, well, then you invite me back on your show and you apologize to the American people. He said, yes, he would. What was interesting is the summer went along and it became clear there were no weapons of mass destruction. I kept getting calls from O'Reilly's producer. He said, Scott, Bill wants to bring you on, but the management won't let him. He hasn't forgotten what he said. Bill O'Reilly went on ABC's Good Morning America, and he said straight up, I told Scott Ritter that I'd bring him on and apologize to him. And they won't let me. So I'm here right now to say, Scott Ritter was right. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. So as much as I don't like Bill O'Reilly sometimes, he was a man of honor in that case.
So I was in the green room when this happened because I was also on that show. And when Donahue came out, we hugged each other. And then I went on the set and I said, Bill, Phil just ate your lunch, and he was furious. He wanted to cancel my segment and throw me out of the studio.
He's
Hothead
a work
par excellence. But like you, I had a great relationship with him. At one point, I was his most frequent guest for a couple of years. I was on 3 times a week. But I thought you would appreciate that. God rest your soul, Phil Donahue. A great human being, a great journalist, and a very big heart. Boy, I loved what he said at the end. You know what else went up? Halliburton stock doubled in value. Dick Cheney. Wow. Scott, thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Thanks for everything you do for us. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, all the best. Coming up later today at 3 o'clock.